Hey, what's up, dudes? What's up? Oh, back again. After a week out at Namm. Great time. Lots of stories. Don't get your hopes up on the footage. I'm sure everyone was like, that's the bumper they shot for their super long interviews. It's not. These are people I accosted and said, could you shoot a bumper for me real quick? And they're like, yes. Actually, they were all super freaking nice. And we're very accommodating. And, you know, it's like these people are busy trying to make money out there. They're at Namm. They're not at Namm for me, you know. So I really appreciate everyone who took the time to flash some horns and inquire about what's up. I had booked this a while ago, but I wasn't sure exactly if I was going or not. But I did get, everything finally worked out. And, this is more of a vacation for me, quite frankly. It's just sort of hanging out and getting a break from the land of the ice and snow. Pretty chilly out. When we were out there, a cold front had blown through the day before I went, and with it brought a lot of snow. In fact, it was a blizzard. We had a blizzard the night before I frickin' flew out. But lucky for me, it ended about 8 hours earlier than my flight. And that was plenty of time to clean the runway up. And they were like, you're not delayed, you're not anything. We canceled a bunch of flights. There'll be another flight. Your flight will be back, but don't worry about it. You're leaving on time. So that was great. Got there, plane showed up, boom, got on. Lots of screaming kids, but you just bring earplugs. I recommend earplugs. Bring earplugs when you fly, because if you got a screaming kid behind you, trust me, you'll be glad you had those earplugs. I mean, you can drown it out with noise-canceling headphones. There's a bunch of solutions, but the low tech for me is I just throw earplugs in and nod off. Let me know when the flight's over. And that was a 6.5-hour flight, so some time. So one of the cool things about being up in an airplane is you're above a lot of the atmosphere. And, you're above most of the clouds, pretty much all the clouds at 40,000 feet. And you can go over areas where you just normally don't really go. So, like, what was cool is, when you fly from Boston, you don't go, like, straight across, I guess for you it would be like, what, this way? This way, that way, anyway, this way. You're up in Boston and you're trying to get down to California. You don't go straight across. You actually arc, follow what's called a great circle. Too much to get into here, but the great circle, of which the equator is one, is the shortest distance between 2 points on a sphere. So if you want to get from one point A to point B in a sphere, you go through a great circle, period. And they do. That's why they all arc, because that's the shortest distance. You would think straight across is, but it actually isn't, because of the spheroid, because of the 3D of the object. Anyway, so we're up over the Great Lakes, right, where we like arc up from Boston, and I guess it would be this way for you. We arc up from Boston up over the Great Lakes, and then we're going to head down through like Wyoming and over Colorado and the Rockies and make our way down like this arc. And so we get up over the Great Lakes, and there's no light pollution from the ground. So the stars, right, it's like it's at night and there's no clouds. You're above most of the atmosphere. I mean, talk about some star viewing. So I had my coat there because it was about, 8 or 10 degrees when we left Boston. That's Fahrenheit. And we're heading out to about 55, 60 degrees. And I held it up over my face, and I looked out the window, blocked all the stuff. And man, the stars. I mean, just what a night of, like, I don't get to see stars like that in my area. Way too much light pollution. We just don't get it. You have to be really out where there's very few, ground lights that's just polluting the air. So that was pretty stunning. I was like, damn, Jupiter was like a fireball. It was so bright. It was pretty awesome. And what else? That was about it. It was a very uneventful flight. I did shoot a cool shot of Las Vegas because, Vegas is a city out in the middle of the desert. So around it, it's just, black because there's no lights. And all of a sudden, boom, there's just like the city in the middle of darkness. And so that sort of looks cool. And you see the strip, right down the center of town. So we went over Vegas. I could see that out the window. And then what else? It was nothing. We got into L.A. and a marine layer had come in, so the ground, the city's lit from underneath. It was like fog, and that looked pretty cool. It was like this bed of fog just lit from the underneath, pretty consistently lit too, because there's a lot of lights, and that looked pretty awesome. Landed no problem. Had a crazy ass driver to get us over to the hotel. He was driving like a maniac. I mean, he was really pissing me off. We took an exit that was for 25. It's like a loop back. They even show like a loop back to let you know this is a real hard turn. And they post 2 big giant signs, 25 miles an hour. He took it at 45 miles an hour. And he really started at 60 and jammed on the brakes, got it down to 40. He was just by the time he was halfway through the turn, he had it down to like 40. Oh my God, I thought he was going to roll that van. But he was just such an idiot, like the worst driver ever. And we were getting, so everyone's in like silence. We're all sort of looking at each other, 7 of us in a shuttle. And I'm the first guy to get dropped off. So he opens the door and he calls out my hotel. He opens the door. He runs around back to get my bags. And I go, good luck. And they all burst into laughter. They knew exactly what the hell I was talking about. And went around back, got the bags, went in, checked in, no problem. Woke up the next morning, I was up early, because I was on, East Coast time. So, West Coast, I'm 3 hours earlier. So was up early, was able to get over there really quickly. And, they do a band comes like sort of marching through during the opening ceremony for the Namm show. And I went walking by, and I was just saying hello to my friends. They got me the pass, and hanging out with them for a little bit and talking about what we're going to do and everything. And then I just went down. I hit the orange. I was taking it light. Went down to the orange booth and was looking around there for a little bit. Not very much. Didn't really do anything. Picked up an orange shirt. And then there's a couple places down there I checked out. I think Carvin was down there. Went to Diodario because Diodario was close by, and just checking out a few things. And Supro was around the corner from me, and I was checking Supro out. And I went to the Ibanez booth and was walking around there a little bit on a couple of different days, checking out some of the Ibanez guitars. Looked pretty nice, especially these new like flame top artists that looked really cool. And then what else? In fact, I think I'm in some footage for that. Someone emailed me and they said I appear in some footage. I checked it out and I'm like walking like a zombie behind. Like they're shooting it. I didn't realize they were shooting. It's not lit, right? They're just shooting with regular. They don't have a lamp. When you look and you see something's lit up, they're shooting and you stay out of the way, But it wasn't lit up. They were just standing there shooting it. So I didn't realize they were shooting. Sometimes people just, they're gathered and someone has a camera. It doesn't mean they're shooting at the time. And so that was sort of funny. And then what else happened? Got my little notes here. Oh yeah, on the way in, there was this van parked. Well, when I was walking in, it was pretty funny. He was there. He strategically located van, for everyone walking by to see. It was pretty funny, and getting the name out there. And then I went outside. They had a bunch of trucks out there. I guess this was the first year they did this. Was my first year going, so I didn't know like what the situation was. But the food inside was pretty weak. But man, I went out to this. They had like a hot dog and sausage truck. Oh my God, those were friggin' masterpieces. I'll throw a copy of the menu up. First day, I think I got the Loki, which is the hot one, and it was damn good. Ice cold Coke and a nice, it was pretty. It was a pretty complex sandwich. I got to say, there was a lot going on in there. It was pretty damn awesome. I guess they're very highly rated. I can see why. And everyone was going there after I went there. They were like, "Wow, that actually is really good for a sausage truck." It's like nothing like just a crappy Italian sausage or whatever you get around Fenway Park or some crap like that. These were gourmet. So let's see. After lunch, went over to the Duncan booth. And man, talk about a hero's welcome. They were so nice. They were just like, "Hey, we love your video." And so that was a bit of a love fest, and it was nice. And they were showing me all their new stuff. They got a bunch of new. They got a new pedal. Other than the Dirty Deeds, they got a delay pedal that I wouldn't mind checking out. And they have a couple of new pickups out too, and some old classics that they're just focusing on. So I have actually a much longer video shot on that you can check out. I will post that up as soon as I get... one of the things I did on the plane out was I learned Premiere a little bit. I had a bunch of videos, like on a CD, or actually it must have been a DVD. It was way too much content for a CD. So it was on a DVD on a laptop, and I could just, watch this, and I learned about how to, track and do multiple... That's how I did that trailer. Finally had some video editing. I used to use Windows Movie Maker, but... Movie Maker doesn't work with my camera all too well. And this is a new camera, actually. My old camera suffered a little bit of a mishap out in California. I actually was able to fix it, but in the meantime, I bought a new camera because I wasn't sure whether I would be able to get it going. And I was. So, but at any rate, new cam. So got out of the Duncan booth, I basically scheduled the video that I'll post up where I go back and we set the mics up. I have a couple of lav mics, and, we sort of go over all their stuff and just sort of have a little fun. And then I was walking around, and who do I see? Tone King. I was like, "What's up, bro?" And God, he was a super, super nice guy. Big hug, big how you doing? Lots of talking, talking about YouTube, talking about the Namm show, talking about, guitars and guitar-related stuff. I mean, it was awesome. We were having a great time. And he had his buddy there, and they, really these guys, they were top notch. And so they closed it down. They closed the place down. So we started walking back, and then we took a quick picture because we weren't sure if we were going to meet up again. We actually did wind up meeting up again the next day, and he shot the little bumper for me, and we shot the breeze for like another 20-30 minutes. So he really good guy, and he's the hardest working man at Namm. God, the guy, he's out there. He's pumping out the vids. It's pretty amazing. So I like Tone King. He's a great guy, and he's got quite the operation. He's in there. He's working. He really is. He's in there early, and he's shooting the vids when it's nice and quiet. And that's the way to do it. That's how I shot my Duncan one. In fact, I think you can hear them say, "The show is now open." And we're like, "Oh, better wrap it up." We were getting in there, because people are out at night. So what else? Met up with Tone King. All right, so it ended, right? We're getting kicked out. Tone King goes his way. I go off with my buddies, and they took me out to In-N-Out Burger. So we drove over and went into In-N-Out Burger and ordered up a little something off the secret menu. Thanks to my buddy Tony giving me the tip on the secret menu. Ordered off the secret menu, got a couple of animal, we all ordered animal-style doubles, and I got a Neapolitan shake and a Coke. Here we go.
You may want to shave that mustache first.
No way, it's the flavor saver.
You want to take off that name tag?
Yeah.
No, you're safe.
We're good? All right, ready? Now that's a tasty burger.
You'll be hearing from Paramount.
Sorry, Samuel. Oh, that is good. That's awesome.
Very nice. All right, I'm going to have my burger now.
So that was awesome and very filling. And so I figured I'd just head home. And they're like, no, we're going out. So we wound up going over to, I guess it was the Hilton, right? Yeah, the Blues Jam at the Hilton. So they had this sort of like blues sort of funk, that sort of sort of funky, but they sounded really good. And I look up and I go, well, no wonder. It's Larry Mitchell and like Andy Timmons, and another guy who I recognize, but I can't think of his name. I don't think it was Johnny Lang, but it was somebody, who you've seen. Oh, yeah, that dude. Really good. Really, really good. Especially that guy on the right whose name I don't remember. He had some really tasty riffs in there. And, of course, Andy Timmons, he's good. He's awesome. And Larry Mitchell, all those guys, they're all just, they're really, top of their game and that stuff. So that was a blast to watch. We're trying to get a beer and we're trying to walk around, and they walk around all the way to this other side. And all of a sudden, the guys I'm with are gone. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Where the hell did they go? And the place is like totally packed. They're like, keep it moving. I'm like, oh my God, So I go out to the pool area, nobody around. I'm like, these fucking guys, it's almost like they ditched me. And, we come back. I walk around the back of the stage, which was empty, and who do I see over in the lobby there? But Phil X, like talking to a couple of people. I was like, yeah, Phil X. So I went over and I stood at the like one of these big, columns, for the lobby, and I'm in sort of like to the left of the stage, just hanging out, watching the guys, and I think I got a picture up there, and they. All of a sudden, I see Phil X. I text the guys I was with. I was like, where'd you go? I'm to the left of the stage whenever you're ready. And I see Phil X walking down by himself. He's done with his conversation. I was like, oh, man, big fan of your channel. Let me get a quick pic. It was so nice. Super nice guy. Took a quick pic with me. I was so appreciative. And it's like, I hate to bother these people. And I go as fast as I possibly can because I know that, people have things to do. And they don't need to be bothered by me. So, that was awesome, and I posted that up on the Facebook, and people were like, "What? Huh? What?" Just like that. That's pretty much it. All right, what else do we have? That's about it. I think the guys came around, and what happened was they saw somebody they needed to talk to, one of their buddies that they're working with, and they're like, oh, we saw this dude, and he was over there, and we it was a very quick and abrupt right turn down this little alley. I'm like, yeah, you didn't. He's like, yeah, I know, we sort of fucked up. I'm like, fucking ditching me here. So we sat, we watched the rest of them. Another band came out. They're pretty rocking. And we just sort of sat around and drank some beers and on lighted tables. Stupid shit. But it was, it was cool. And then we got out of there and we went over. And the other band, I think they opened up. Where am I? They were doing Scorpions cover. They did that. fucking went from, Rock You Like a Hurricane to like you Bark at the Moon, and they were doing Scorpions and Ozzy and Sabbath. They were, I was like, yeah, now you're talking. They were good, and thought they were great. They said the vocals were awesome, really good, and so that was great. And I was tired. I'm like, dudes, I was at the show an hour before you guys showed up, and 30 minutes before that, waiting in line to get my badge. It's like I was there like 90 minutes early. I'm tired. And they're like, yeah. So they dropped me off. It's about 1 a.m., which, on my time is 4 a.m. I'm coming from the East Coast. So went to sleep, woke up, had a total migraine in the morning. I was able to beat it down with a lot of aspirin, Advil, and hot shower. That seems to work for me. And I got over that. That was awesome because it could have really, if that gets too out of control, I'm like out for hours. And then went to the show, and you know what? I should probably call it here. It's probably already been like 20 minutes. I'll come back again because I think the first place I hit is the ESP booth, which had some crazy guitars and had some like shredder dude who I have no idea who he was, but he was a really good player. All right, guys. This video's probably gone long, way too long. So I guess that was day 0 and day 1, and I'll do like day 2 and day 3. Day 2 was actually pretty long in an upcoming video. So until then, rock on. We can take a closer look at my old Ibanez here. The old RG. Oh yeah, the mic is getting some rumblings. All right, dudes. As always, beep. Rock on.